When you score against Panathinaikos, you become part of the club's history. Even with everything I've achieved in my career, scoring against Panathinaikos was something else. Everyone was really happy about it, and they still are today.
3 years at the club, Rivaldo made some impact at Olympiakos, and indeed in the derby match. January 2006 saw an epic encounter unfold at the Karaiskaki Stadium. Rivaldo was inspirational. Olympiakos had to come from behind. Keeper Antonios Nikopolidis adjudged to have conceded a penalty. Ezequiel Gonzalez scored from the spot. The lead, though, didn't last too long. Rivaldo putting the teams level. The tackles were flying in. Not unusual, though, in the derby match. Then, in the second half, a sweet turn and Rivaldo gave Olympiakos the lead. The Brazilian couldn't take any credit, though, for the third goal, a gift from Panathinaikos, an own goal by Michalis Konstantinou. Panathinaikos did get one back through Theofanis Gekas, but the derby belonged to Olympiakos and to Rivaldo, man of the match.
The pressure in this derby is greater than some others I've played because you can leave your house and meet Panathinaikos fans in the street and there'll be the usual banter. I think a game from the same city like this is more important.
Former teammate Predrag Dordevic has been at Olympiakos for over a decade. One of the first major foreign signings, he's continually voted Player of the Year.
That certainly makes me very happy, and it's great to be rewarded for what I've done on the pitch. I believe that the fans, the team and myself are all satisfied with what we've achieved. Many household names have come here and many more will follow. But certainly, I've been very lucky to be part of a successful team for many years. My name will be connected with all the trophies, and those great successes have definitely helped improve my career.
Dordevic has been key to several important derby wins, not least a cup final meeting with Panathinaikos in May of 1999. Olympiakos were always in control that day, Dimitris Mavrokonidis putting them ahead. And then Peter Aforekai pounced to win them the cup.
Well, first of all, each and every one of these games is very important. When you find yourself playing against Panathinaikos, certainly every single game is etched on your memory. But that particular game remains a very special one. The team was in great form, we won 2-0 and lifted the cup. I think that every game has a lot of moments that you remember for many years to come. Nevertheless, if you want to remember certain details or specific moments, it's great to watch the matches on tape and refresh your memory about those happy days.
In May 2003, both Panathinaikos and Olympiakos were fighting for the title. Brazilian Giovanni gave Olympiakos the lead. Next to strike was a Greek who went on to make his name abroad, Stelios Giannakopoulos. And Stelios sealed the win, the league title secured.
It was one game, one title at stake. Olympiakos were at home while Panathinaikos needed a draw or a win to take the title. However, Olympiakos took their chances and won 3-0. It could have been even more.
That win capped a record 7 championships in a row for Olympiakos. The party would go on long into the night. Managers had come and gone, but none loved the club more than Takis Lemonis. Fan, player and manager, it's been a boyhood dream come true.
At first it took some time to take in what was happening because I found myself playing with players both older and more important than myself, players from whom I'd even asked for autographs when I was a child going to see them play. For me, it was very important to become a professional player, alongside some of the players I used to admire as a little boy.
Olympiakos runs through his veins. Being part of the other side of the rivalry is something he could never contemplate.
No,
this is something that I've always been clear about. It's very difficult for that to happen. Certainly, some people involved in football believe in never say never. But I'm very strict as far as that's concerned. The Olympiakos-Panathinaikos derbies are very special. The most important thing is the prestige, and not so much the points. So these two teams are considered to be the two greatest in Greece. For us, no matter where Panathinaikos are in the league, they're our greatest rival. And certainly, everyone at Olympiakos and our fans always want to win.
One man who's dared to cross the divide is goalkeeper Antonios Nikopoulides. He was at Panathinaikos for 5 years as a senior player. In the summer of 2004, he shot to fame as the national team keeper in the historic European Championships win for Greece. And by that time, he'd moved to Olympiakos.
Η πρώτη χρονιά ήταν αρκετά δύσκολη, θα έλεγα.
I'd say that the first year was pretty difficult. I faced some fairly bad reactions, but then again, that was only from the Panathinaikos fans. Because the support I got from Olympiakos, my teammates, and my coaches, it was so great that I managed to get over any difficulties within a very short period of time.
There was a big party celebrating Panathinaikos winning the championship that year, and Nikopoulides was booed by the Panathinaikos fans because they knew he was going to Olympiakos. Since then, Nikopoulides has been a regular for Olympiakos. He's won 2 doubles and 3 championships. Many Panathinaikos people have regretted not keeping Nikopoulides.
It gave fans another reason to clash before the match, with Panathinaikos fans reserving special treatment for Nikopoulides.
You name it. They didn't show any respect to a person who played at that club for 15 consecutive years. I respected them, but they behaved terribly inside the ground.
A hot-blooded nation, their passion for football can sometimes overspill. The heat of the moment, often something these religious people come to regret later on.
Let me tell you about the other day when a young man who had been at the Olympiakos-Panathinaikos derby came to see me and said, "I went to the derby and I regret it very much because of my actions. I don't recognise myself and what happened to me." So when this young man came back to his senses, he came and told me about it and asked God for forgiveness and his friends for forgiveness because he flipped out. And he said, "I decided to punish myself for a whole year, not to set foot in a stadium in order to understand the mistake I made." And it's not the first time I've heard something similar from fans. As you see, they themselves regret their actions afterwards. But this is not enough. We have to work out how to restore the value of our Greek traditions in order for young men to participate in the games without this tension, and more importantly, without the violence we see today.
A Greek derby these days is always heavily policed. But make no mistake, there can be security problems.
It was a much more negative experience at the Panathinaikos stadium, where there's no fences. So, as soon as the game starts, fans were jumping over the barriers and invading the pitch. Both sets of fans, and the police were in there too. So you've got both Olympiakos and Panathinaikos fans, literally hundreds, possibly thousands of them ready to fight. And shocked as I was, I remember saying to my teammates, there won't be a game, it can't go ahead. But they were calm, saying, no, this is normal, it'll soon be fine. And that's exactly what happened. For a while I was frightened, as I thought if this can happen now, then when we start playing properly, it only needs a couple of fans to invade the pitch again, for it all to kick off, and for there to be real problems. But fortunately this didn't happen. The game went ahead as normal, and both sets of fans behaved themselves.
It's match day at the Olympiakos ground, the Karaskaki. No away fans permitted on this occasion. This isn't unusual, though, and the easiest way to deal with the derby for the Greek authorities. Outside the ground, a heavy police presence was visible. Plenty of excitement, of course, for the home fans, as they stood on the verge of championship success. A win needed for Panathinaikos to at least delay their rivals winning the title. The atmosphere was building as the teams arrived. Panathinaikos about to enter a cauldron of noise. And without their fans in support. Early on, the home side dominated possession. Forekai should perhaps have done better with his header. Panathinaikos had chances of their own. Ivancic testing Nikopoulides. But in general terms, it was chance after chance for the home team. Olympiakos denied brilliantly by goalkeeper Ibede. It was to prove a telling moment. In the dying seconds, Papadopoulos scored to win the derby for Panathinaikos. Frustration for Olympiakos, but as it transpired, only a hiccup en route to the title. Another derby day was over, and the whole of Greece could relax. Well, until the next time, anyway. Thank you for watching. Make sure you don't miss the rest in the series of football rivalries.